that braid, and I went, I think I like it.
I think I like it.
I think I like it.
Yeah.
Before she was a billionaire, before she ruled television for 25 straight years, before presidents waited for her endorsement, she was a 14-year-old girl hiding a pregnancy born from years of abuse, convinced it was her fault. The world sees Oprah Winfrey as untouchable, powerful, unbreakable. But what if her empire wasn't built on confidence? What if it was built on fear? Fear of being poor again, fear of being powerless again, fear of ever feeling invisible again. Because when you really study her life, the relentless schedule, the need for control, the emotional intensity, the refusal to slow down, it doesn't look like someone chasing success. It looks like someone running. And to understand what she was running from, we have to go back to Mississippi. She was born in 1954 in a rural town where poverty wasn't temporary. It was inherited. She wore dresses made from potato sacks. Shoes were a luxury. Food wasn't guaranteed. Her mother was 18, overwhelmed, unmarried. Her father wasn't present. From the beginning, Oprah wasn't treated like a miracle. She was treated like a complication. By age 3, she could read. The Bible became her escape. Words became power. On a farm where discipline came with switches and silence was expected, stories were the only place she felt safe. But at 6 years old, she was sent to Milwaukee to live with her mother. And that's when survival turned into silence. Between 9 and 14, she was repeatedly violated by people who were supposed to protect her. She didn't even have language for what was happening. She thought she caused it. By 14, she was pregnant. The baby was born prematurely and survived only a short time. Instead of feeling like a victim, she believed it was punishment. She later admitted she thought she was a bad girl. That belief buried itself deep. And what happened next would shape the empire. She was sent to live with her father in Nashville. Vernon Winfrey was strict. No excuses, no chaos. There were book reports, curfews, accountability. For the first time, someone demanded excellence from her. She joined debate, entered speech contests. When she spoke, rooms listened. At 16, she won a public speaking competition that led to a radio job. The microphone changed everything, because when you control the story, you stop being controlled by it. But television nearly shattered that confidence. In her early 20s, she became one of the youngest news anchors in Nashville. It looked like success. In Baltimore, it turned into humiliation. She was told she was too emotional, too expressive, not polished enough. Her hair was criticized. Her body was scrutinized. A salon treatment went so wrong it damaged her hair and her confidence. Then she was demoted, pushed into daytime talk, a slot executives didn't take seriously. At the time, it felt like rejection, but it was redirection, because in that chair, she stopped pretending. She started connecting, and Chicago noticed. In 1984, she took over a struggling morning show in Chicago. Within months, it dominated ratings. By 1986, the Oprah Winfrey Show was nationally syndicated. And it didn't just succeed, it reshaped culture. When she recommended a book, it became a bestseller overnight. When she spoke about abuse, racism, or healing, the country listened. She revealed her own childhood trauma on air, and thousands of survivors wrote in saying it gave them permission to speak. By 2003, she became the first Black female billionaire in history. If you've made it this far, drop a comment and tell me, do you think pain creates power? Or does it just force people to survive? Because behind the influence, something else was growing: isolation. While millions felt connected to her, she often went home alone. Her longtime partner, Stedman Graham, proposed in the 1990s. She said yes. The wedding never happened. They stayed together for decades, unmarried, often living separately, no children. She admitted she couldn't build the empire she built and still be the mother a child deserved. That's a trade few people talk about. Success expands one area of your life and quietly shrinks another. And while her career soared, another battle played out in public. Her body. For decades, the media tracked her weight like it was breaking news. In 1988, she rolled out a wagon filled with 67 pounds of fat to symbolize weight she'd lost. The audience erupted. Within a year, the weight returned. The same outlets that celebrated her mocked her. She later admitted food was comfort, armor, a way to numb unresolved pain. In 2015, she invested in Weight Watchers, sparking debate. In 2023, she revealed she used medical assistance for weight loss after years of insisting otherwise. Critics called it contradictory. Supporters called it human. Even as a billionaire, she couldn't escape judgment. And then came something even more dangerous than criticism: failure. In 2011, she ended her iconic show to launch OWN, the Oprah Winfrey Network. It was supposed to be the crown jewel of her empire. Instead, it nearly collapsed. Ratings were weak. Shows flopped. Reports suggested hundreds of millions in losses. For the first time in 25 years, Oprah was losing publicly. She admitted there were nights she couldn't sleep. She wondered if she'd ruined everything. Eventually, strategic changes and key partnerships stabilized the network. But something shifted in her. Failure humbled her. And the public conversation around her changed too. In an era increasingly critical of billionaires, some began questioning her influence. Was she still the symbol of empowerment? Or had she become part of the elite class she once challenged? Her endorsements sparked debate. Her wealth drew criticism. Social media amplified every move. The world that once admired her without hesitation now examined her under a microscope. And at 70, she stands in a position few humans ever reach. Multiple estates, billions in net worth, hundreds of millions donated to education and philanthropy. She meditates, walks her property, reflects. And yet she has admitted that some nights, she still feels like that little girl from Mississippi. If this story is changing how you see success, take 1 second and hit like. It tells me you want more deep dives like this, stories that go beyond headlines. Because here's the truth no one likes to admit. Success does not erase trauma. Money does not guarantee peace, and power does not eliminate loneliness. Oprah Winfrey built an empire that changed television forever. But she also sacrificed privacy, traditional family life, simplicity, the ability to fail quietly. So maybe the real question isn't how she became a billionaire. Maybe it's this: if success costs you intimacy, if it costs you stillness, if it costs you the simple version of happiness, is it still worth it? Let me know in the comments. Would you trade peace for legacy? And if you want more stories that reveal the layers behind the legends, subscribe. Because behind every empire, there's a human being still fighting silent battles. And some victories aren't measured in billions. They're measured in the courage to survive and keep going anyway.